more years in their lives. Because if they had all that extra time, they could fix any mistake. I don't need hours or days or years. I only need seconds. Here's the thing about time. If you can't make the most out of any given moment, then you don't deserve a single extra second.
Welcome back to the OPL. My name is Michael Hensing, and thank you very much for joining us, because if you are just joining us, it is Sorry, we've just seen Exile5 take their first win of the split against Abyss. They're up one game. And I'm joined at this desk by Avant-Garde AD carry Blinky, and also commentator and shoutcaster for the LPL, Zach Rusty Pie. Thank you so much for being here, both of you. Before we get into game 2, let's talk about how Abyss can claw one back and type this series. Blinky, what are your thoughts?
I mean, hopefully draft properly this time. Don't pick a Kayle. Pick something that's going to make you win lane and like take priority over the lane and push your advantage so the rest of the map can get it as well.
Specifically, like, name some champs. Like, what do you want to see?
Maybe like a Nami, Karma, something aggressive. Like, even pick Soraka. Kuden's known for his Soraka. It's aggressive in lane. It keeps your AD carry alive, and he's good at it.
All right. Rusty?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think something more aggressive would be nice. Honestly, if it comes to it, pick Malphite. Like, have an engage till the Rumble wasn't able to lay down a Band-Aid that stuns people. Believe it or not, it doesn't stun. Something that they might have required to help complement that champion. It has to come from somewhere.
So you want to see some more hard CC going into this game too?
Yeah, and again, the Kayle doesn't provide that. The Lulu could have provided at least a really super high slow that hits multiple members that would have made the Rumble a lot easier. So whether it's the support position or whether it's the top lane position, even mid lane, if it's just going to be harder into the crowd control route, not damage, they could utilize that.
All right, well, what about from Exile5? I mean, they obviously, best case scenario for them, would want to 2-0 this. But for them to close it out, can they rely on Abyss playing the same playstyle, or, you know, what should Exile5 do?
I mean, Abyss's playstyle is do nothing, right?
Yeah,
so
it's passive.
Mean, it's probably going to happen again, so pick lanes at scale and just hope you don't lose, and then you win.
It's just a very long. We're going to be here for a while, guys. I mean, Rusty, if Exile5 really wanted to just like close this out, though, is that what they got to do? Just wait for laning phase 40 minutes, or?
I mean, X5 are always looking for things. They creep around the map and try and get some ganks off. If one of them is successful, then yeah, perhaps X5 just have that immediate opportunity, because Guts is the man they want to snowball. He's proven that he can carry for the team. So I'd say try and get Graves again. If they can't, just try and get a champion that gets Guts ahead.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about mid lane, because Mid Beast, T-Gun said this is his last week playing with Exile5, which is news to everyone, but also coming up against Frey, who last week didn't have a great performance. I mean, how do you think these guys are facing off today, Blinky?
I mean, I think they're pretty even laners towards each other, so nobody really did anything, but Frey, obviously, he's really good at CSing, so he was ahead in CS, but the pressure on the map from both of them was nothing. They didn't really do anything. I mean, the only person who did anything was Guts, so...
Jace was doing a lot of damage. He was ahead in a bit of farm, but it wasn't amounting to enough. And there's only so much that you can do as well as your mid lane. I think Frey was performing decently well in the first game, but I also think that mid beast wasn't necessarily underperforming. His going to the side lanes, the timing was right. Like, he wasn't losing.
So if this is his swan song for Exile5, I mean, is he looking to step up in this second game, maybe try and take a couple of kills off Frey, potentially, Rusty?
I don't know if mid beast is a type of mid laner that goes for solo kills in lane. He doesn't feel like that kind of player to me. And Frey's a very slippery man to try and actually take down.
A slippery man.
Yeah.
He's covered in jelly and oil and all sorts. Well, let's move to the top lane then. 5-8 into Pac-Man. Rusty, give me your thoughts on these guys going into this second game. Pac-Man obviously likes to get ahead and try and play from being in ahead, but 5-8 picked up the Camille in that, so still quite a powerful champion.
As being as nice as I possibly can to 5-8, he should probably just drop the Camille for something else, because he wasn't using all of the spells in the right way that a Camille should be. I think he could find a simpler champion for himself, such as Renekton, and have a much better time in that top lane. It still looked good towards late game, and that's why I'm saying Renekton. It's just so easy to get through early game.
All right, well, Blinky, what about you? For Pac-Man, what do you want to see if 5-8 picks up a Renekton or something?
I mean, if 5-8 is going to early pick the Camille again, pick something that can like crush it, like a Renekton or something as well. So like, the thoughts on Pac-Man to do good as well, right? Like,
so Renekton is just
Procs the way.
priority pick for both teams now. Top lane.
Yeah.
It's going to be the first rotation who gets that. All right, well, let's go back to bot lane, obviously, because Blinky, that's where you are most familiar. You said earlier T-Gun over Kuden. And the supports are what matters in bot lane.
Yep.
Did you see anything that confirmed, or did you see anything that confirmed that in game one?
yeah, I mean, T-Gun didn't pick Kayle, so he won the lane, right?
So
Genius.
basically, the only specific analytical advice you have for Abyss is don't pick the Kayle.
No,
That's it.
I think T-Gun did good in laning phase. They had pressure on the Lucian and Kayle, but I think they should opt to a more defensive lane because they had a lot of chances to die, but they didn't because Abyss don't punish anyone, so they couldn't do anything.
All right, so bot lane for Exile5, play more defensively, maybe, and then bot lane for Abyss, maybe pick something more aggressive. That is our advice from the analyst desk. Let us get into game 2, Abyss versus Exile5 by throwing to our casters. It's Spawn and Fish.
That is the advice from Blinky and Rusty there, Hingers. Don't you dare take credit for all that. I know
Modern
you want
day
them.
scholars of the game sitting on the desk over there. You know, the game took too long. There was no early game. Just pick early game champions because we don't want to watch that anymore. I actually think Exile5 are well within their right to go late against Abyss if they just continue to want to play defensive.
No.
If they don't want to pick any hard engage, pick the best scaling champions you have and just beat them at 45 minutes because you know that is where Abyss is taking you every game, but they don't necessarily pick the comp to go with it, Fish.
Just look over the analyst desk, see Rusty and Blinky giving you death stares, and then Hingers just looking at me again, shaking his head, as always. But we'll have to see what's going to change here for Abyss going up against Exile5. It seems like they're going to stick to the same bands here. Wouldn't expect anything different.
Ooh,
But
Camille gets taken away. That's different.
wow.
You, come on, mate. Arc up.
Yeah, but it seems like they don't want 5-8 to play that Camille. So Rusty said he should maybe drop that for something else. Doesn't matter. They're not going to let him play.
And they're not going to let Guts play Graves either,
Oh, no
who
surprise
absolutely was popping off all over Summoner's Rift on that pick. He was taxing waves, getting kills.
Taking blue buffs.
Yep, he was absolutely everywhere and probably was the MVP of that game, to be honest.
Rengar is the final band that comes out from Exile5. So all the bands that come through, Varus, Camille, Graves on the side of Abyss. Whereas Exile5, they've taken away Rengar, LeBlanc, and finally Swain.
Yep, so we'll see whether Frey goes towards an assassin. We saw the fact that he was more than happy to play Jace. Looks like he's going to play it again. So no assassin.
So we'll see health bars be depleted on the side of Exile5
But
for
then
another 40 minutes.
reinvigorated, most likely.
And then Anami will step out of nowhere and say, here you go, have it all back. We'll have to see what the next two picks from Exile5 are going to be. Hopefully no more Kayle.
No, I didn't mind the Kayle. Just get something that goes with the initiation factor.
Okay.
You can't pick 5 champions that are good at going backwards because they'll just never go into you, Fish. And that's what we saw. We just saw that they were willing to play split push only. They played 1-3-1. And they set up the map well. I mean, it wasn't a fancy game of League of Legends. It was just Exile5 pushing up lanes simultaneously, getting their champions to the late stages of the game,
Yep.
and then taking Baron and winning.
It certainly was. Guts also says, if you're going to ban out my Graves, I'm going to take your champion, show you how to play it. He takes Elise to
Is that actually what he said?
Uh,
I mean, unfortunately, I'm not wired into the teams, but Fish might be.
Maybe. Not going to give out all of my secret strats just yet. As Jin is going to be the lock-in for Exile5 as well. Crazy picking up that champion also because I've got their player comms in my ear. I know exactly where it's going. Or maybe just because it's the AD carry. Whereas Ezreal gets locked in here for Abyss, and they're probably going to be taking Karma to the bottom lane this time.
And once again, we have a bottom side of the map with very limited engage. So now on the top side, we need to see something out of Abyss because they can't play passive. We've seen that Exile5 are just more than happy to scale up as the game progresses. See what they try and lock in here, whether it is going to be something like a Nami or a Sona to go up against a Kayle Karma, which is what is popular around the world.
Nami is going to be locked in here for Exile5. Abyss deciding not to pick up that champion, preferring the Karma here.
Yep. I mean, a better laning phase out of X5 already, you'd have to say, on the hands of Jin Nami. It's one of the strongest lanes, in my opinion. Being able to just walk in with a speed up on Jin is quite nice to be able to proc the third and fourth shots into your dancing grenades.
Certainly is. You see Mid-Beast waving to the camera there.
He's actually just a fun guy to be around. Really chill person.
Very
Super nice. Had a pretty good game, split pushing top on Ari. I mean, we said it, but he had kill threat on anyone that wasn't Frey, and if Frey went up there, then they had already won the game of dragging Frey away from the middle of the map. So definitely willing to play his role as well on Summoner's Rift.
And if the rumors are true, as Rusty says, it's going to be sad to see him go.
Certainly. I mean, I was actually super pumped that Midbeast was back
Yep.
in the OPL. Shout out to his YouTube channel. I think that he's an educational guy. I think that he has a great attitude. So hopefully someone does look to pick him up if he's willing to play. I know he's at university at the moment. He's a Queenslander. So potentially real life just impeding on League of Legends. Hate it when that happens, Fish.
IRL gets in the way. All I want to do is play League of Legends for 12 hours a day.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry.
Doesn't happen. You've got to eat, apparently. Did not understand this part. Meanwhile, we have Ivan and Kha'Zix being banned out by Exile5, as we do see the Zed being locked in here for Mid-Beast. Kennen and Syndra are the bans from Abyss.
Yeah, so this is awesome because now all of a sudden we have a gauntlet thrown. We're going to see Mid-Beast taking the Zed into mid lane against Frey. Much more volatile matchup, but a similar flavor in the way that if he ever goes top lane and drags Frey away, Mid-Beast is doing his job already. It's just a little bit easier to die as Zed.
Pac-Man is going to be picking up Nautilus heading into the top lane.
Boom! There we go. That's the initiation we're looking for. One person clicks on Crazy, hits R, and that's the team fight started. It's all they needed last game. Lee Sin also gives them the flavor. Seb's going to be able to fly in left of screen and be able to look for those insect plays. So I think that already a much better, well-rounded comp coming out.
Yep.
Although maybe lacking a little bit on magic damage, you would have to say.
Maybe a bit here. We'll have to see if it's compensated with the damage.
He's big Kled.
Okay, it's time to charge, Spawn, as 528 is bringing Kled into the top lane.
I mean, Kled does super well against all these tanks, and we see
does.
it played, I think, a lot in the European LCS. He's
LPL
played
as
a
well.
little bit in the LPL. So, you know, you're just able to bully throughout the laning phase. You have good kill threat.
And
He also takes turrets quick.
And to be fair, he has been banned out a couple of times in the OPL. There was specific target bans. I can't quite remember who it was, but we have seen it banned out. And he's one of those champions that goes towards the Black Cleaver, into the upgraded Tiamat. And then
Titanic Hydra, yeah.
Into pure resistances. Because of how Scarl works, he just scales so well.
Exactly right. And I mean, as soon as you get the GA, you have to kill him 3 times pretty much because the hopping off Skull is really annoying. And his W just makes him super good against turrets as well. If you ever get left alone with that, you get 3 empowered auto attack. You get your Sheen proc generally if you're going towards anything like that. So see whether he goes Black Cleaver, see whether he goes Trinity Force. We've seen both. I think Black Cleaver's better, but it's just a super annoying build to deal with.
And although Exile5 don't have that hard initiation like the Nautilus and stuff, once Kled pops his ultimate, everyone just runs so fast into the other team. It's going to be difficult to stop the onslaught of Exile5. And they looked good in Game 1, a lot better than what we've seen in the past 7 weeks.
Yeah, certainly agree. And, you know, they also have Jin for engage. They have the tidal wave that can come out in an army. So they do have tools to be able to start it, especially given the fact that they look like a 1-3-1 comp. So, you know, you've got Kled that sits in top lane, Zed that goes to a side lane as soon as he picks up Youmu's. The rest of the team, so more on the disengage front that you expect Abyss to be running into them this time around. And I think that they've got enough tools in the disengage to be able to deal with it.
Whereas it really seems like Abyss's crucial factor is now they have Pac-Man back on a tank.
He needs to get huge, by the way,
does.
to be able to live through all of that damage, because there is a lot.
And Pac-Man, and speaking of Pac-Man on a tank, it's something he's very comfortable with. We see him do it all the time. It's what he's very famous for up at the top lane. So excited to see if he's going to be able to pop off on this Nautilus, which is back onto the Rift. And it's going to be game 2 between Abyss and Exile5. Exile5 desperately looking to try and close the gap against the 7th place team in the OPL. For now, though, let's check in with Abyss's coach, Sypnav, who's standing by with Hingers.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Sypnav. I want to start by asking about the Kale pick in game 1. Was very controversial on the desk, I would say. What was your thoughts behind it?
So basically it was either that or Lulu is what I was thinking of. And so the ultimate for both will do the same sort of thing, which is deny a lot of burst damage coming out of Camille. So the idea is that stop Camille assassinating the primary target, and also with Raid on the Lucian, he can go a bit more ham, having a invulnerability. So should be pretty nice. Plus there's a lot of healing, so a bit of sustain coming out to match the Nami a little bit.
All right, well, going into game 2, you picked up the Nautilus. Now, is that just about CC and engage, or what's the thought?
So previous game, we didn't have a reliable way to engage them, and that turned out to be a bit of an issue. So this time, pick the Nautilus and go for a much more reliable engage.
Excellent stuff. Well, he's hoping that game 2 is better for you than game 1. Thank you so much for speaking to us, and best of luck in the match.
Thank you.
And going ham, Raid did. Wasn't enough for Abyss in that game, but he was very aggressive on his Lucian last match. This time around, he'll be on Ezreal. Crazy's picking up Jhin, and this is someone we've criticized a lot the first half of the OPL. And then week 6, week 7 came about, and we saw him steadily, pick up his game and improve against the likes of some of the best laners in the OPL.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like if you're a rookie player, you need time to improve on the professional stage. And, Crazy certainly came in a little bit undercooked, as I think a lot of people on Exile5 did.
Yep.
However, they made 4 changes going into the season. And now you can see, even coordinating enough with Tegan to be able to take down wards in the brush, they're doing a good job here.
Certainly are. Tegan and Crazy definitely had a good game one. Tegan especially, another person we have criticized in the past, and he's got no excuse. He is a veteran in the OPL, but definitely stepped up to the plate the last few games, and it's paid off. Exile5 finally be able to pick up their first map victory, so will not go they will not go without a win, even if it's a small one for now. They're definitely looking to see if they can pick up all 3
and
points.
Look at that, as soon as the level 2 comes through, Crazy turns around with a crit with the Tycaller's Blessing and is able to chunk out Raid. That's exactly what we want to see out of this duo. Keep the wave neutral, be able to fight over creeps, and we'll see whether they can out-sustain and continue to get this chip damage down.
Yeah, it's just going to be Poke going out in the bottom lane for now, just trading back and forth. We'll have to check in later, see if there's any crazy initiations coming out from the 2 of them, whereas we have Zed here going up against Jace. Lost his name for a second there.
That's all right, I found it for you. I got your back.
Got it. Midbeast already going very aggressive here against Frey, getting a lot of damage down
That's
as
a
well.
Thunderlord proc. That's really nicely done. Of course, wearing pink Shockblade, Zed. Means you have lightning, but you're pink. I mean, best of both worlds.
A real man wear pink, Swan.
Is that true?
Apparently.
It just doesn't match the complexion of my skin, is why I don't wear it.
Meanwhile, 528 is farming underneath his turret for now with Scarl here. Just charges over the minion there.
A little bit of a joust off, because you and your Timefish have been known for quite a joust as well.
Apparently, Rusty has still not accepted my challenge. Shame on him. It's been a year and a half on Respawn. Don't know what's quite going on with that guy. We do move back into the mid lane. Frey going aggressive against Midbeast, who does trade back quite efficiently.
Yeah, that's a nice play again from Midbeast, being able to get Shuriken across with the Shadow, showing that he is very familiar with the Assassin, even though a little bit more known as a control mage player.
So he does have Ignite to bring into this mid lane. The exhaust from Frey will stop a lot of damage.
Yeah, and that's interesting, because one of the things you can do on an Assassin is take exhaust versus people you know are going to take exhaust. As soon as they drop it on you, you just drop it on them. Then you kind of have more burst damage when both expire.
Yep.
Instead, Midbeast just goes for the kill summoner spell, maybe thinking he's going to be, leaping onto Raid or Kuden or someone like that a little bit more in the mid game. Wants to be able to pick them up. Of course, next patch, we're going to see a lot more Ignite than Exhaust, in my opinion, because Exhaust has been what I like to be called gutted. Of course, no longer really all that beneficial to take it against 80 carries. Going to be a little bit better against burst mages.
So it still reduces your damage in the next patch and still slows you, but your attack speed is still the same. And also doesn't reduce your armor and magic resistance by 10 anymore.
Yep.
Which was nice very early into the game, especially.
Yeah, it certainly was. Especially
Big changes.
when tanks dove into your team, they were doing so much base damage, but then you could also take a little bit of their resistances away.
I do, however, like the change. We'll see a little bit more diversity. We see Ignite occasionally in the bottom lane. Ejim ran it once or twice in the last series.
Yeah, if anyone's going to run an aggressive summoner spell, however, it is going to be Ejim, and that's what I'm talking about. Get the little speed up from the Nami passive, then look for the crit shots.
Yep.
However, it does look like potions still aplenty in this bottom lane.
We've got 3 on the side of Jin and 2 for Raid, so he's about 200 health down. If he pops that, he'll heal up, but he's just waiting to see if the Ebb and Flow from Tegan's going to be enough to keep him top off for now.
And you can see that Tegan just running so much mana regen that he is always full. So this lane certainly is looking that way. And Crazy turns around and actually gets a lot of damage done.
That's not great.
The thing is, though, is that Tegan has a heal and Kuden only has a shield. So in these long drawn-out trade, eventually it will go in favor of Exile5. At least that is the theory behind it. We'll see whether that happens in execution. Of course, sometimes AD carries just run in and die.
Yeah. There is a potential for that to happen.
And you can't heal dead people.
You cannot. You can revive them, but that does not exist anymore in the game, unfortunately.
You couldn't revive them. You could only revive yourself. You're a
True.
liar.
Zillion.
Yeah.
That's not really how it works. Never mind. Let's move on from that. It sounds stupid already. Raid and Kuda now going to farm a little bit closer towards their turret. But again, this game is very similar to what we saw in the first match. Very patient from both Abyss and Exile5, which is very different from Exile5, but that's kind of what we expect from Abyss.
Ooh, nice turnaround here.
He's going to be locked down. Exhaust getting used as well. Heal already being popped. Arcane Shift forward from Raid. The lockdown will come out from Crazy on top of that. Kuden is still charging forward and picks up first blood. We have double teleports being used into the bottom lane. They both get cancelled, as expected.
So in the end, it is going to be a kill for Kuden. Now, meanwhile, a little bit of damage here in the top lane, or a lot, should I say.
5-8 wants a piece of this Nautilus. Pac-Man throws the anchor out to a wall and gets back to safety. But it's a bit dangerous for Pac-Man to be farming out in the middle of this lane.
Oh, Barrow trap on a rope hits again.
Does not pull him back though, and does not have the joust available yet. Now does. Pac-Man's got to be a bit careful. A double Ruby Crystal being picked up by 5-8. Still have the double ring being picked up by Pac-Man, which is quite common on the tank top laners. As you can see Lisa moving into the bottom lane. Hits Tegan. He's going to flash away, but still gets taken down.
Yeah, it certainly does. Does have to burn the summoner spell there to pick it up, but a nice kill picked up for Seb. Doesn't even have to burn the ultimate. Tegan was trying to freeze the lane for Crazy. Got caught out. Crazy still manages to pick up a big creep wave. However, no longer frozen, and Tegan falls for the trouble. So 900 gold so far, the lead for Abyss Esports, and they need to continue to grow this.
Exile5, they'll be hungry and fired up after their win in that last match.
They probably will be hungry at this point. We do feed the players, but they've been here for about 3 hours of Chiefs versus Legacy and then now a game themselves. I mean, I don't know how often you eat fish. Actually, I do because I work with you and you eat a lot. But I feel like they would be a little bit peckish, at least.
The
That's not what
literal
you-
sense is not what I was looking
That's
for.
not what
here.
you were going for?
I was going for a little bit more of the method. I can't say the word.
Metaphorical?
Yes, metaphorical sense of things.
I got you. I'm all over it today.
Catching me, which is fantastic. It's helping me out a lot. But putting me down with that hunger stuff, not going to work. Now I'm hungry and I don't have food. It's not great. Meanwhile, Exile5 will definitely be trying to look for the 2-0 here. It will be a big confidence booster. Will definitely help them try and catch Abyss.
I would also like to point out when Fish says he doesn't have food, he also gets fed on weekends.
It's not true.
He ate a chicken schnitzel
Don't you lie.
earlier. I saw it with my own eyes.
I also burnt myself on it. It wasn't great.
The tough life of eating microwave meals.
Yes. It's not ideal. And when you put it in for 2 minutes, don't take it out straight away. Wait.
They even
Don't
say
make
90
mistakes
seconds
me.
on the pack.
It says 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and I wanted to play it safe. I wanted to be nice and hot. Didn't realize how hot it was really going to be.
Like lava, molten lava.
At least, unlike the first week of the OPL, I didn't drop it on the floor. But for now, Abyss against Exile5, pretty stock standard. People are going to be farming. Early blue buff going over towards mid beast. Going to help with his energy regeneration.
9.5 minutes. That is the second one.
I mean, if I'm a jungler and I see energy mid laner, no mana, I just take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Elise. I can use it, I think.
Especially if they're AD, because of course blue buff does give you a percentage AP boost. So Elise does benefit from it. You can see that no Moby Boots rush coming out of Guts. Instead, he's gone for an Aether Wisp. As Mid Beast wanted to get in on Seb there. Of course, you need to be careful all-inning Lee Sin early because he has a surprising amount of burst damage.
Yep.
And also the kick just disengages, so it's really hard to kill him. So maybe not the target you're looking for.
Seb actually trying to make his way down into the bottom lane. Biss, for a team that we criticize about their proactiveness, have a ton of proactive champions in this game. And there he goes. Ward jumps over the wall, hits Crazy as well. Kicks Tegan back instead. Now to jump on the top of the Nami. He's going to be able to use the ebb and flow to get back to nice and healthy. Push up Raj will take him down, but Seb is now in the bottom lane. Lee Sin is dead. Raid is forced to flash away, and here comes the Curtain Call. Kuda just sidesteps it. Poor positioning from Crazy, but is still going to try and chase Kuden down. Will get locked down. That's going to be a nice and easy kill. Exile5 pick up 3, and all of them go to Crazy.
I mean, you say poor positioning of the ult, but really all he needed out of it was a slow. As soon as Kuden ran sideways, they had the red buff. They were going to continue to be able to follow that one up. Triple kill over to Crazy. They've got a lane-dominant lane, and now they finally have a lead. And that was the one area that Abyss was super confident that they were going to be able to win. So across the map, trouble starts to open up one more time for this squad. And Exile5 back in the driving seat.
Yep, and right as I give praise to Abyss looking for their aggressiveness in the bottom lane, it's going to be the counter gank from Guts that comes out. Trumps down there. 5-8. Still doesn't have his skull. Waddles very slowly. That weapon's a little bit too heavy for him, but we'll be able to get the little lizard back soon.
A little lizard? I mean, it's not that small. The thing that I do want to point out
do
is...
you live in Australia?
Yeah, I do actually. The thing I do want to point out is historically as an Elise into Lee Sin, you have had to play the reactive role. You can never be first to a gank because if you ever repel onto someone, you can't dodge out of any of the damage of Lee Sin, and he does win that trade. As now Kuden and T-Gun going toe-to-toe.
Midbeast and Guts wanted a piece of the action. Kuden runs away. The cocoon will not connect. But other than the gank bottom lane, which we saw there, good counter gank from Guts and 3 kills on the Crazy. Nothing much else happening on the map. Very early Yomi's Ghostblade picked up by Crazy. And again, Frey's farming up a Storm. Quite far ahead of Midbeast at the moment in the mid lane.
Yeah, 20 CS up. I mean, it's a really nice lead, but if you can't turn it into anything, as was the case in game 1, I mean, right now it means he's up boots, which means absolutely nothing. We'll see whether he does have kill threat, but Midbeast, as long as he gets to Yomu's and can go to a side lane, you would think that he'll be happy in this.
Frey getting a lot of damage on the Midbeast. There's an ultimate coming out. Whoa! Where did Midbeast go?
All right, I said as long as he gets Yomu's and can go into a side lane, he's fine. But he just died, so not fine anymore. And that means that Infernal Dragon potentially going to open up, although they need to be careful here. They're doing it because they have vision. But if Kuden cheats too far across, they're going to give it away. Instead, looks like Seb's just going to be able to solo it out, and no one's the wiser on the side of Exile5.
Yeah, that's going to be taken down nice and easy. Seb picks that one up. No response from the bottom lane whatsoever. Meanwhile, top side of the map, Pac-Man's going to be able to lock down Guts. That's quite a bit of damage. And suddenly it's going to be Skarl that has to jump in amongst it. Oh, no, that's not pretty, Pac-Man. Seb is going to be able to get up here as well. And actually, it's going to be Frey is able to pick up the kill. Now 5-8 going 1-on-1 against a Jace. He loses his Lizard and he's trying to run, but it's just too cute.
And he actually flashed and died. So that's 3 kills now over onto Frey. Ooh. That's exactly what they wanted. You saw maybe just a little bit too tanky on Pac-Man. They didn't expect him to live that long. Kuden's in some trouble. Needs to make sure he doesn't get ulted on here. And Crazy looking confident strutting forward with that crit shot.
Raid is still poking out the Jhin quite nicely despite the 3 kills that have gone over towards the Sadie carry.
I mean, poke damage means nothing anymore in this lane, however, because T-Gun's just going to be able to top him up. They do need to be a little bit mana conscious because now you're not only just using ebb and flow, you're going to be using that Tidecrawler's Blessing to get him in range for the crits. You see that they're actually looking for first brick here in the mid lane and going to be able to pick it up.
Yeah, that's taken down nice and easy. Seb and Frey work on that one. His Guts just watches helplessly as that turret is going to fall. Frey didn't have much of an impact last game, but with 3 kills, it might be a different story heading into this match. Kuden's going to head back to base, but Raid gets interrupted.
That's something that T-Gun and Crazy have obviously been working on, is getting rid of wards in the side brushes.
Yep.
They've actually brought 4 members down here. They really want this turret in response.
No pings on towards that brush, but they know there's a ward there.
Teleport is available. Here we go.
Chemical comes out. Raid has Arcane Shift, and Tidal Wave is going to come through as well. No flash available for the Ezreal. Tidal Wave comes out. Sorry, Bubble comes out, and that's a dead Ezreal. They chased him from downtown. They still got the kill.
Perfect layering of CC. However, they knew that they could zone in with the Tidal Wave, and they were going to be able to pick up the kill. They do have to retreat. They're not going to be able to get a turret, most likely. But that is a good kill over onto Guts. and a nice setup. I mean, they didn't burn any summoner spells. That was just ultimate. So in a minute, they can come down and do the exact same thing.
Slowly try to whittle down that bottom lane turret. Raid was the pick up there. Kuden does return to the mid lane. And now Midbeast is bottom. If I was him, I wouldn't want to be against Frey either.
I mean, it's not being about against Frey. It's about being in a long lane. Because what you want is if they push into you, then the Elise can wrap around behind them and you do enough damage to be able to burst anyone out at this stage of the game. And if they don't push into you, then you have a lot of pressure of chipping them down underneath turret with the Shuriken. So I think that it's a good position. Well,
Oh, Guts is able to avoid a lot of that damage, and Seb is brought to the wrong side of Summoner's Rift. Ward jumps back to safety, and Guts is forced to flash away.
but really nice follow from Seb there. Means that he does manage to get the flash out of the jungler of Exile5. And right now, Abyss look like they're pretty firmly in control. It's 1,400 gold. They're going to match the 1-3-1. Mid lane is a long lane, but there's not really all that much danger of dying 2v2 versus Crazy and Tiga. And everywhere else is just farming up a Storm.
Yep. A little bit more proactive this game from this, which is what we want out of them.
Dive pressure is definitely their bottom lane. You can see that Seb actually walking over a ward right now will be spotted out, but potentially can get in there and help out Frey.
It's 5-8 against Pac-Man here. Pac-Man slowly cementing his ground up here. 5-8 still does a lot of damage, and not as much anymore. The Black Cleaver is going to help him out, whittle away at the armor.
He does a lot of damage still.
Ultimate actually being used. Very small range. Loses his Lizard. Runs away like a coward. As Abyss are now going to be able to take down the bottom lane turret. Seb is now moving his way into the top lane. Sorry, Guts is making his way into the top lane. Will help 5-8 with taking down this turret.
I mean, it's Kled as well as Elise both have attack speed steroids, so he's going to be able to chip away at this one quite effectively. But they're just not winning the race because right now, bottom lane is on a tier 2 and teleport's coming in.
Yeah, they're looking for this turret. Pac-Man's here. Midbeast avoids the Q coming out from Frey's low on mana. Ultimate's going to come out from Nautilus and a teleport from Skull into the bottom lane. Tiga's been tagged up. Seb will be jumped off by Midbeast. That's quite a bit of damage. He's going to go down. Big team fight from these two teams. 5-8's in amongst it, very low. Looking to try and get Skull back. Midbeast avoids the Q coming out from Kuden. Guts comes back in, locks him down. They get a double kill on towards Crazy. And Exile5 are chasing forward for these kills. Raid is the next target. Ebb and Flow picks that up. And that's 4 kills for Exile5.
They turn it around again. Exile5 able to get a team fight that they were looking for. Great coordination for that stage of the game. And Frey is just not able to output enough damage at this stage. You see that he has to back all the way to the tier 2. And even though they trade 2 turrets for 1, gold is still completely even because Exile5 convincingly win that team fight.
And they say to Abyss, you know, you had a goalie. It'd be a shame if we took that one away from you. It's now gold dead even between the teams. And here's that fight again. It's a dive coming from Abyss after they take down the turret.
Yeah, and focusing out on mid-beast is such a hard thing to do because you can see that they want the ult from Nautilus and Lee Sin. So Lee Sin's going to duck in behind him in a second, but then he just ults him. So Seb's wasted flash is going to pop because of the fact that 5-8 was able to get onto him. And then the interaction with Skull means that Kled's actually really hard to burst down at this stage of the game. And instead they chase forward. Good layering of CC means that they catch out multiple members. And then this is just a confidence play. Crazy flashes forward, big crit, Ebb and Flow comes in over the top. And really, that's a well-executed team fight out of X5 to battle their way back into this game.
It certainly is. Now with the gold dead even, Exile5 will definitely looking to try and pick another fight like that, especially with 5 kills on Crazy, 2 lethality items and upgraded boots. The Jhin is well and truly online. The only person he's not going to be able to hit very hard is Pac-Man.
And even at this stage of the game, he still hurts Pac-Man.
Does.
It's not going to be all rainbows and puppies, but he still does some damage.
Abyss is still looking to control the Dragon Pit though. They've already picked up an Infernal Dragon for themselves, and the Ocean is their next target. Third drag to spawn will be another Ocean Dragon.
See whether there's any priority. I mean, there was a slight chance that they could have just started up Herald there and given it over to the Zed. Zed likes Herald buff. Able to chunk out on those auto attacks just a little bit more. But really, the carry the team needs this game is Crazy. He's going to have to be the one that steps up. His positioning's going to have to be good on the AD carry. Jhin is definitely not easy to execute in team fights. There's a big disagreement right now whether you should be opening up with the ultimate and then looking to get involved afterwards, or whether it's better to take initiation elsewhere and then look to follow up kills with the ultimate.
This is why I play Misfortune. It's always a good time to ultimate spawn.
Yep,
Before or
certainly
after,
is.
you just press R and bullets come out. Hits everyone. It's great. Exile5 still looking to see if they can push Any of them
Potentially a turret dive in the mid lane.
potentially. Raid's going to get locked down by the captive audience. Doesn't take too much damage. Immediately gets a shield and charges on forward. There's a critical. Crazy takes a lot of damage, and Skarl is making his way in. Tidal Wave comes through. Mid Beast is on top of Kuda.
Here we go.
Big damage coming out, and a double kill for Guts. Nice and early. Seb is going to get locked down, but Exile5 take the 2 kills and move straight back to the mid lane.
And that's what you were talking about, that Kled ultimate. He keeps running until he hits someone, and he was able to get 2 members there. 2 for nothing picked up for Exile5, and they'll be able to grab mid lane turret as well. 5-8 showing really nice proficiency on this champion.
He certainly is. Frey is looking to see if he can return some damage on towards the Lizard himself, but he heads straight back towards the top side of the map. Exile5, they do have the lead at the moment, about 1,000 gold in their favor, 11-7. Tegan will be happy with the kills his team has.
Yeah, certainly would be. Also the fact that they've been managed to peg back a couple of objectives. We've seen the fact that Kled is being pretty efficient around the map as well, and Guts starting to build that lead that we're used to seeing out of the jungler of Exile5. I'm excited to see whether Exile5 can close this one out as clinically as they did game 1, because Abyss has given them another sniff into this one. Sure, maybe the team fight is a little bit stronger for Abyss than it was game 1, but X5 look like they have their number in that regard, Fish.
And you take a look at Exile5 so far, yet to pick up a single win. Abyss have been able to take down some maps as well. Tainted Mines was who Abyss were able to take down, I think it was last week. So if they can pick up a 2-0
2 weeks ago, I think.
If they can pick up a 2-0 against Abyss, that'd be pretty good confidence booster for Exile5, even though we only have a couple of weeks left in the regular season.
Yeah, it certainly would. I mean, it makes you just feel good for relegation, as actually layering of CC again. Seb in a little bit of trouble. Won't punish him too hard.
Unlike Gangplank, you can't eat an orange, but a fruit's going to be enough, and he's okay. Exile5, though, going back to their respective lanes. So setting Zed bottom, going up against Pac-Man. There's a decent amount of armor, so can sustain some hits there, but Frey's on the top side of the map, uncontested at the moment, will take down the turret for Abyss.
And it's really hard to expect 5-8 to be able to play into him, because even though he's decently farmed, still not going to have the exhaust. He has to run teleport. So Frey certainly has a little bit of an advantage in that lane. So 5-8 doing the right thing, just wave clearing out. And actually ulting towards mid lane.
Charge! Saves 5-8 as he finds Seb. We'll be able to lock him down. Teleport is going to be coming out from Pac-Man trying to get into this fight. Call will open it up. Seb's going to flash away. 5-8 tries to follow on through. Oh, snipes him from downtown. Crazy is able to pick up that kill. Abyss still want to go for this fight. Might be a poor decision though, as they're looking to engage. 5-8's the first target, but he's so tanky. Frey gets exhausted, and Claire charges into the backlines. We're going to try and open up against the rest of Abyss. Meanwhile, turrets are being destroyed by the Zed. Not even going to matter because Raid is going to go down. Frey's the next target. Still gets tethered in by the hook coming out for 5-8. That's a full-blown 4-on-5, and Exile5 just destroyed Abyss.
They clean house, and Guts is absolutely massive at this stage of the game. He's 6-1-5. Leandri's Torment. This is going to be Baron because 5-8 is pretty tanky, and Skarl's going to come back quite soon.
Here we go, back to full health. Nice and healthy there, throwing a hook on towards the Baron. Exile5, 3 kills in that fight. Mid Beast took a turret bottom lane, looking for a second one. They're on top of Baron at the moment. Tiga's going to be a bit careful, but there's no mana on Kuda. And that spider did quite a bit of damage there.
I mean, Seb is on his way. 1,400 health. I mean, he's jumped off Skarl again. Here we go. Able to pick that one up. Seb will get a kill.
Skarl just runs away on the other side of the map. Does not want to get involved with the Lee Sin. Kuda's got to be a bit careful. Guts is trying to chase him down. Seb trying to deal whatever damage he can. 6 his fangs in. Will that be enough? Yes, it will. Kuda, what are you doing?
Just keep running, Kuden.
I mean, Rusty told me this piece of advice. I'm going to tell you right now. Run in a damn straight line.
So Kuden unfortunately falls down. That means it will be 3 Baron buffs for the team. Let's take another look at the 4v5. So 5-8 started it with a beautiful ulti, and then you have to really praise Crazy here, because of course Jhin nerf's not going through yet. Still 0.75 seconds slow, able to get good target prioritization. They pick up the big tanky member, and from there, with no tank available, it was really just a 5-8 show, because he can continue to run at the front of the team, and Crazy gets sniped on the back end, but the shot call is good. Immediately, as soon as Frey goes in, the turn comes, bear trap on a rope still goes through even if you get knocked off Skarl, and you're able to pick up another kill. That means Baron. That means priority in the 1-3-1 one more time. And I feel like I'm repeating myself from game 1, but I just don't know how Abyss come back from this fish.
Neither do I at the moment, and you're meant to be the smart one here, Spawn, so I think we're both stuck. But it's 16-10, Exile5 in the lead, about 2,000 to 3,000 gold up, 3 turrets to 4, but crucially they have the Baron buff available. Mid Beast was not even involved in that fight. It was a full-blown 4-on-5. He was busy
The
bottom
whole
lane.
team is chasing mid beast. Now you can see that they've moved into that bottom side. Dragon is available. However, Baroned up creeps are on the tier 2. It's only an Ocean Dragon. Abyss, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
They're going to lose more gold structures.
Karma's going back to base. We already have the Nautilus up on the top side of the map.
And
Even
now all of a
Raid's
sudden
going.
they've left Dragon. And actually, mid beast is there. I mean, you should have probably just used a blue trinket on it. I mean, I'm not so sure.
If I was Exile5, I'd just be absolutely confused. Where is everyone? They're cheesing me somewhere. I just don't know where everyone plays safe.
All of a sudden, Frey is
Five
actually
though.
in behind mid beast.
Oh, the Edge of Night's going to fall down here. Ultimate does come through, doesn't deal too much damage. Maybe he's trying to get the heck out of there. Suddenly there's a Lee Sin behind him. Goes back to
The
his shadow.
do-si-do.
Trying to get away. Flashes out of this one. This gives Exile5 so much time, and you can hear across the map.
Charge in the top lane.
He's going for it. He's going to try and go into the back lines instead. Charges towards the turret. That's a little bit anticlimactic, but you get the idea coming out from Exile5. Now it's the inhibitor, that's the next target. Trying to lock down Raid, not going to connect. Guts has been locked down by Pac-Man, but
Everyone
this
is
Nautilus
here.
takes so much damage. Crazy's the first target, gets kicked back into the team. He's going to get taken down. That's 2 kills being picked up by Abyss. Midbeast is somehow on the top side of the map as well. I don't know how he got up there quite fast. Ninja is pretty quick. Tigger's the next target. Abyss do strike back. They're able to pick up 3 kills for themselves.
So good team fight out of Abyss, but is it too late? Because all of a sudden, top lane is open up, still 2 Baron buffs available. I mean, that's perfect if you're X5. Sure, you give up a Dragon, but you breach the base, which is so hard to do when your only range damage dealer is really crazy. And when I say really crazy, I mean crazy, not really insane. This name confuses me. But now we'll see whether they can bite back at all. They've got a 10-second window before the respawns come in. You can see that they're trying to push down mid lane.
It's not nice, those spiders.
Certainly not, and he's going Dead Man's Plate, so there's going to be a little bit of tank behind the Elise. I love Dead Man's Plate on Elise. It means with Moby Boots you run up, auto-attack someone with that momentum, then you get your full combo out. Much easier to execute on ganks.
Guts is 725 again. I mean, he had a fantastic
He's
game
popping
one.
off today.
This is the Guts we expected when he joined the OPL. This is what we wanted to see from him in his first few weeks. I did have a few brilliant moments, especially in weeks 1 and 2. Kind of fell off the radar until now, really. Doing very well for Exile5. Exile5 in general, looking so much different than they have in the past 7 weeks.
I mean, they actually look cool, calm, and collected. They're just, you know, taking their time around Summoner's Rift. They're not going aggressive when they don't have to. Big teleport now in by Pac-Man. Means that he's going to be on the back line.
Oh, Tegan's going to take a lot of damage. He tries to flash
Pac-Man
away.
just melts, though.
He lives through the fight. 5-8, Luther Skull. He's forced to flash away. Midbeast is not in this fight. They do take down Tegan. Kotoko comes out for Crazy, but he's going to take so much damage from the Shock Blast combo. Abyss are hunting down the low health members. That's a flash forward for Raid. As his coach said, he's going ham right now. It's going to be a Redemption that comes out trying to heal them back up. Guts is holding the front line, trying to avoid some damage. Midbeast goes back in, looking for Seb. He'll get taken down by Frey, and Abyss have done it. They're able to clean out a team fight.
Yeah, they certainly are, and I think that Exile5 are just losing track of the comp a little bit. They should... Ooh, good snare onto Frey.
We'll be able to lock him down, but doesn't deal too much right there. Abyss.
I feel like they should just be 1-3-1-ing. They just continue to go for these fights, although now, with the Nautilus in the base, there's a potential for Crazy to nearly die, so no teleport play going to come out of 5-8.
Nautilus is stuck in the base, and 5-8 teleport is up and available. So, as you mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised if he does go towards that split push for his team. But you mentioned earlier, it looks like there's no way for Abyss to come back. Apparently there is. Win team fight somehow.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, they do have the tank in the Nautilus, so if they can get him into the back line, it's going to mean good news. However, I just feel like this shouldn't be the case, especially with a Baron inhibitor down. Should just be able to put Zed in that lane, 5-8 in bottom lane, and there's no one that can really go toe-to-toe with him right now. He's super tanky, has a lot of health, and does trade incredibly well at this stage of the game.
He's been sitting on his eyes for quite some time, this 5-8. I think I've seen him with this build for a while now. Not going for the Guardian Angel. Instead, seems like he wants Dead Man's Plate first. Will help out once he charges.
I mean, there's not all that much AP damage, so you can understand why pure armor stacking and HP might be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But you can see now that they actually put the Zed in the bottom lane and 5-8 with the team. I just think that you need to go back towards a 1-3-1 because if you keep getting collapsed on by Nort, you're not going to be able to win the team fight, guys.
And at least Midbeast is itemized pretty well to deal with anyone right now. Black Cleaver as well as Lord Dominic's Regards. Means he's going to be able to shred through Nautilus if he has to. Seb, even if he gets back down there, he does have a Guardian Angel now, though. He's been playing pretty well in this match to kick crucial members of the team back. Frey is still doing well in the mid lane, 7-1 and 3. Constantly getting crucial shock blast combos
And
on towards
instead,
Crazy.
now they're rotating into the bottom lane. We'll see if they actually send all their members a go.
This is the man with 7 kills, and they're trying to lock him down. He turns it around towards T-Gun, looks for an exit frag, but he doesn't get it. Guts just tanks up the turret, and that one's going to fall nice and easy. Exile5 have a window to attack.
And that was Direwolves X. I mean, they get control of the vision. They set up in 2 lanes. They cheat into Fog of War, then pull the trigger as a unit. Sure, they burn a couple of key summoners as well as ults, but that is definitely worth it to take away Frey, who has been the Fed member on the team all series long. With that, now they have taken out the bottom lane tier 2. They have access to mid lane tier 2. And Baron is back available. Frey is down for 25 seconds. I feel like they should nearly even just rush the objective.
And they've got super creeps on the top side of the map, so if Exile5 wanted to push for that Baron, now would be the time to do so.
Yeah, all right, now they do it. I mean, it took them a while.
They charge. That's what they decided to do. Okay, that's obnoxious. That's too quick. You shouldn't be able to run that fast. That's speeding. You get a ticket for it. Exile5, though, will try to rush down this Baron. It's down to half health. Seb is close by, looking for a steal. See if he can enter the back of the pit. Guts is level 15 to the 14. Smite advantage over towards Exile5, but it's minuscule. Seb's looking to go in. Tidal Wave comes out. They stop damage for a while. Seb goes in.
You have to take the... Ooh, they got it.
He gets it, steals it away from Exile5, and everyone is just dead spawn. Abyss have done it. They take the team fight and the steal for themselves. Even the one-on-one in the bottom lane goes towards Frey. That's an ace. That could potentially be game.
It should be game. I mean, 40-second death timers, and X5 have just thrown it all away. Burst the Baron down. Don't allow it to go to a team fight with you in the pit, because one more time, they have the super tank. You do not. 30 seconds still left. This is going to be it.
Yeah, there's times where you take the 50-50, and that was one of them. Try and get there before Seb gets there first. And Abyss, they're going to try and push on towards the Nexus. 10 seconds on Crazy. It's not going to matter. There's just too many shields, and that's a super tank, as you mentioned, inside of Abyss. They fight back Spawn. We question how they're going to do it. They've done it somehow. Exile5 are going to drop a match that was in their hands for the taking. And it's now tied up 1-1. We're going to go to game 3 again.
We certainly are. That man in your screen able to get a crucial Baron for his team. I just feel like if they had focused everything on the Baron as opposed to trying to keep Seb out of the pit, that would have been a completely different fight. But, you know, in the end of the day, Abyss were good enough. They got it done. They got that one crucial team fight late and able to just run it up mid lane. I mean, they took out 3 turrets on the way.
And I mean, on top of that, you look at who was isolated. It was Frey against Midbeast in the bottom lane. Even though Midbeast went down, you're taking away a 8-kill Jace from the team fight, and they still won't be able to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, and they also hesitated. I mean, they were caught in between 2 minds. Do we go to Baron? Do we push mid lane?
Yeah.
I feel like if that is the case, you should always take the less chance of throwing the game objective. Just be decisive, or, you know, stick to your guns.
Just pick one thing and stick to it, just like how I'm going to throw it straight back to the analyst desk.
Thank you, Fish. Thank you, Spawn. Well, there we have it. Exile5 and Abyss tied up all 1 apiece in this, our best of 3 match. 2-4 Saturday. I'm joined here by Blinky and Rusty. And let's start by talking about Abyss, because they somehow managed to pull that win from the jaws of death.
Yeah, surprised they managed to get that one in the first place. I do think that should have been an X5 victory, but, you know, kudos to Abyss for being able to lock it down. And it all did really just come from the one Baron play that turned an entire game on its head. However, they kept it as close as they could until then.
Yeah, indeed they did. Well, Blinky, look, your first thing was, look, they need to not pick the Kale going into game 2. I see no Kales in that entire draft. So talk about Abyss's draft there. Are you favourable about this one?
They definitely have a better bot lane and overall like team comp, so I'm definitely happy with Abyss's draft. But it's sad to see Crazy pop off and still lose.
Yeah, because he was having a good game.
He was.
Let's talk about Kled, because Exile5 picking that sort of a thing we rarely see in the OPL, but Rusty, you obviously cast the LPL, where Kled is a priority pick for some teams.
Yeah, I see it all the time. Great champion. It only has one direction that it can go, however, and that is forwards. However, it goes forwards incredibly quickly. So it's super exciting to watch, and it plays towards a style that fundamentally Exile5 want to work towards, which is going forwards. They don't like taking steps backwards because they trip on themselves and end up losing games quicker. And so the Kled actually empowers them to do these things. They were flanking with it quite nicely and actually getting a couple of quite good plays with it.
Yeah. Well, in particular, there was a mid lane team play where Kled just comes all the way down from the top. X5 just collapse on that mid lane, Rusty. I don't know, when we were watching this upstairs, you were saying, look, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, so Kled comes from one flank. They also have the Zed coming from the other flank. And the thing I really wanted to highlight is the fact that Crazy's ultimate zones them to naturally run in a direction. But the direction is the waiting arms of both Elise and a Zed from Guts and Midbase. It's a really clever strategy, and you can do this whenever a Jhin is in your team, and that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, Blinky, you're laughing at that. Well, you're having a chuckle there about the...
Oh, he had really good Jhin ult there. I mean, zoned them. Didn't hit a bullet, but it zoned them.
but that can be a thing that
Yeah.
the Jhin ult is used for. Like, it's not a meme, right?
It's
This
not
is
a
the
meme.
thing. Yeah.
It's not a meme.
Russ, sorry, did you want to get in on there?
No,
All right.
I agree. It's not a meme.
Well, another thing we talked about, right, is Abyss were not playing proactively enough in that first game, not playing as aggressively. Indeed, in this second game, turns out they only need one proactive play, which is to sneak a Baron. Because Exile5 go for it, and then Seb, after saying, look, I'm better as a jungler than Guts, look, maybe this is the moment, it only takes one moment to shine, right?
Yeah, it always takes when you get to this stage in the game. 31 minutes, granted, it is still quite early. The problem here is, as Spawn mentioned on the cast, they try and stop Seb. They don't just commit to doing it. And by the time the Baron even goes down, there's 4 people hitting him. And that's the ultimate problem they really just suffered to here. And Exile5, they don't have an out plan. We already mentioned the Kled can only go forwards. It sped them up to the Baron, and that
No
was
escape.
basically it.
No escape when you got a Kled on your team. Nothing
Yep.
but forwards. Well, let's talk then about Game 3, because Exile5, Abyss, they're both, as I said, hungry for points. So who do you think is going to be taking this third game, Blinky?
I mean, I think X5 can take it, but it's sad that Midbeast couldn't make it the OPL and 3 points show. But he can still
boy.
take home 2 points, so we'll see.
Had to go for it.
You looked down and ashamed as you said
Yeah,
that.
I couldn't.
Yeah, looking at the next game, I do agree with. I think X5 can definitely still get the victory. I'm shocked they didn't get this one in game number 2, but we're already seeing the makings of, firstly, a team that can get those wins against Abyss. It's proactivity against reactivity. Abyss just want to hold on till late game and show that it works this time, where X5 won with the late game in game number 1. We're seeing a really different contrast, and we just need to find a consistent X5 that can hit late game decision making.
All right, well, there we have it. The series is tied up 1 apiece between Exile5 and Abyss, but do not go anywhere because we have the deciding Game 3 right after this.
Crazy on top of that. Cruden is still charging forward and picks up first blood. Lee Sin is dead. Raid is forced to flash away, and here comes the curtain call. Cruden just sidesteps and poor positioning from Crazy, but they're still going to try and chase Cruden down. We'll get locked down. That's going to be a nice and easy kill. Exile5 pick up 3, and all of them go to Crazy now. Ultimate's going to come out from Nautilus, and a teleport from Skull into the bottom lane. Tigger's been tagged up. Seb will be jumped on by Midbeast. That's quite a bit of damage. He's going to go down. Big team fight from these two teams. Fight in amongst it, very low. Looking to try and get Skull back. Midbeast avoids the Q coming out from Cruden. Guts comes back in, locks him down. They get a double kill on towards Crazy. Way in, tidal wave comes through. Midbeast on top of Cruden.
Here we go.
Big damage coming out, and a double kill for Guts. Nice and early. Seb is going to get locked down.
Yeah.
Takes so much damage. Crazy's the first time. Gets kicked back into the team. He's going to get taken down. That's 2 kills being picked up by Abyss. Oh, in. Tidal wave comes out. They stop damage for a while. Seb goes in.
You have to take the... Ooh, they got it.
He gets it, steals it away from Exile5, and everyone is just dead spawn. Abyss have done it. They take the team fight and the steal for themselves. Even the one-on-one in the bottom lane goes towards Frey.
Look within yourself. What do you see? Is your soul a fading light?